Hello, everybody. Here we are again in our Radio Entrepreneurs virtual studios. And my name is still Jeffrey Davis. Nothing changes when it comes to that. And we'll continue to speak with entrepreneurs and business leaders on how they're building their businesses in this economy. Our next guest, as he grabs his hat, is Matt Tait, CEO of Decimal. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, good morning, Jeffrey. Thanks for having me.
Good. I remember being in school as a little boy. First time I was introduced to decimal points, it kind of had my brain a little befuddled, but I'm sure you're going to tell us what your decimal is all about.
Me too, but no matter what, made me think of math. And in business, math is accounting. And so we're very simple. We do bookkeeping, accounting, and tax for small businesses so they can do what they do best.
Well, that's from a tagline perspective. That's very interesting. How do you do it?
We do it with a combination of very industry specific expertise and great technology and a fantastic team. And I think now we have people in 27 states and 5 countries.
Wow. And what's your background that led you to this?
That's where it starts to get interesting. I started my career, I'm actually a recovering attorney. And from there, I started building tech companies. Decimal is actually my third business. And at my previous two, the bookkeeping and accounting operations was a big problem, whether it was hiring people or trying to hire an accounting firm to do it. And I think, like every good serial entrepreneur, I saw a problem and thought, heck, I could solve it. And I think a great benefit to our clients is the fact that I also do not in any way, shape, or form do the bookkeeping for them.
You're the leader.
I try to be, or I try to get out of everybody's way.
So I would assume that with Decimal, with its growth, if it's organic or not organic, we could get into that. That you have anything special, the unique selling proposition, unique proposition that you take to the marketplace?
Yeah, I mean, for us, the way that we look at it is business owners are in their company every single day, and they deserve partners who are too. And by being in the business every day, by being there with very good expertise, I mean, what I hear and what I felt in my life when I get service providers, whether it's lawyers, accountants, etc., is a lot of times I'm actually not getting a very good service and I'm not getting expertise. And so with Decimal, we provide an exceptional service at a really, really good cost and a lot of very specific expertise for the company. And that's a big part of it. The other part, I think, is culture of a business can be an extreme differentiator. And at Decimal, even though we're remote, we started January of 2020. And in that time, we've since grown to about 85 people. And like I said, 27 states, 5 countries. We've helped about 1,000 businesses at this point. And we've built an amazing culture, which you don't hear that a lot with remote businesses, but it's one that is very mission driven to make it just easier to be a business and one that truly lives out their values and repeats them and talks to clients about them and talks to each other about them. And so we've built a team that actually believes in helping these companies. And it's not just a job, it's a mission. And that shines through as I think probably our greatest differentiator is that culture and that team.
So do you replace, supplement the traditional accounting firm? Most small businesses in America are working with regional accounting firms across this
They are.
country. Very regionalized model, although we do have national firms. I think if you add up all the small regional firms, they're much bigger than the large firms in terms of total clients, maybe not billings. But
Yeah.
so how do you sort of fit into the mix? Are you new to the mix?
Being about 4.5 years old, we aren't new. And but what I would say is we both partner with and replace traditional accounting firms. What I've found is traditional accounting firms do advisory work really well, advising a business on extreme tax practices, on audits and assurance. What we do really well is help operate the company. Where we really end up supplementing a lot is that CFO or that controller that's at a business that doesn't want to do the bookkeeping or the bill pay or invoicing. that's where we can step in and be that bottom foundational layer that is traditionally better and more accurate than what they would hire. It's also astronomically less expensive. And so, it's different when your opportunity is, do I hire somebody or do I get an entire team of people who are experts, not only at my business, but the industry itself, and that can help my business to grow? And that's where we have a tendency to step in. But at the same time, accounting is an ecosystem, and every ecosystem works really well when you partner. And so we partner with dozens of accounting firms. They'll do the tax, we'll do the bookkeeping and bill pay, or we'll do the tax, they'll do the bookkeeping. And we like to coexist in that ecosystem. And that ecosystem also includes a lot of really great technology providers and companies that are building great point solutions in the space or leveraging AI really strongly. And we like to be a nice central hub for that, which is also a lot different. Those traditional regional firms or local firms, they have a tendency to be very insular, and we have the opposite, which is we want to be very welcoming. And we found that both of those, that type of mentality really affects and helps with our growth.
Matt, speaking as someone who has run a service firm for a long time, I've experienced the growth aspects, the management, being a boutique, doing the work myself. You're not an accountant. How do you ensure the quality of the delivery of your service?
So number one, I am not an accountant, but we hire really amazing accountants, and we hire really amazing accounting leaders and experts. And so by having that and also putting in a system that creates really high quality work. So one of the nice things about bookkeeping and accounting is when it comes to operating a business, a lot of times you're talking about monthly repetitive work. So you're not talking a bunch of one-off projects that need very specific QC and quality. You're talking about processes that can be constantly refined and improved. And for us, we put together a very clear three-step operational model that really helps to ensure and improve quality consistently. Step one is putting in the right technology to do as much of the work as possible. Step two is having a great outsourced team for us in the Philippines, and have them do as much work as possible, also to QC on the technology. The goal of technology is to continue to take more of the work above. And the goal of that Philippines team is to continue to take more work off of the US staff, which is the point of contact. They are client relationships. They are also final QC. And so by having both that layered approach, as well as a structured team approach. So rather than a one-to-one client relationship, every client gets a industry specific team that knows not only their business, but also knows the industry itself and best practices. And so you have multiple layers upon layers that are not only exhibiting expertise, but examining quality to make sure that the output of work on a daily, weekly, monthly, and annual basis is at the highest quality possible.
Oh, very interesting. We've been speaking with Matt Tait, CEO of Decimal, about Decimal. Matt, time runs short sometimes on our segments. If somebody's looking for you, if Decimal wants to evaluate your services, get to know you better, how would they do that?
So services-wise, decimal.com is a great place to go. Follow me on LinkedIn. We also have an After the First Million podcast where, like you, we talk to business owners and we talk about what it's like to grow in that scale phase, both mentally, emotionally, as well as tactically how to do it. And so with After the First Million podcast, follow me on LinkedIn or just go to decimal.com. Those are great ways to do it.
Great. I want to thank you for being on Radio Entrepreneurs. I hope you return again. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs.